Welcome, and if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering about how to start up your Grand Cross account. I'll try to briefly explain how to start your account, and assuming you've done the tutorial and have a basic understanding of the game, let's jump right into it. First things first, let's talk about the characters, their types of rarity, the different types of skills that certain characters will have, and character attributes. The rarities of characters include R, SR, SSR, and UR. The rarity doesn't really mean much, as even some R characters are quite useful for some endgame content, so that's just something to keep in mind. Next up are the skills. These skills include attack skills, buffs, stances, debuffs, debuff attack skills, and recovery skills. Some of these skills are pretty self-explanatory, so I'll just kind of go over the more weird to understand skills like stances and recovery skills. Recovery skills, as much as you might think it makes sense, it can also get pretty complicated. Recovery skills could be just the removal of debuffs or even healing characters. Anything that has that green little sparkly icon will mean it's a recovery skill, and depending on the color and icon of some of the cards that you have in your hand, you'll be able to decipher what kind of skill they are as well. Another weird skill that you might encounter are stances. They can either draw attention to one character through a taunt stance skill, or you could have a counter stance like Meliodas' one, where when he gets attacked, he'll deal damage to the enemy even during their turn. So that's just something to keep in mind. I'll also play a small clip of the counter skill around now, so you can kind of get a better understanding of what a counter skill is. And finally, when you wander over to the Heroes tab, you can find some colors on the top right of the Heroes icons, and those are attributes. As seen in the image, some attributes will be strong against others, and depending on what's attacking what, you could either get a 30% increase or decrease in damage dealt. With all of that knowledge in mind, you now have a pretty basic understanding into this game's combat system. This is kind of all you really need to know to get through the first few chapters of the game. Currently, as it stands, there are 25 main story quests alongside the 7 side quests that follow along with the anime's story. And at the end of each chapter, the game gives you an opportunity to gain gems, which is currently used for the gacha portion of the game. Although following the mainstream genre of gacha, the game is quite linear and lenient in its way of attaining roles and gives each player ample resources to level up quickly. Other than that though, you really want to focus on story mode. There is a lot of locked content, such as the video playing in the background right now, that are locked behind the story. Also, while you're grinding away at the story, the game offers a really sweet mechanic called Hero's Way. This gives you small tasks along with the chapters that help you unlock level 80 fully awakened characters that can speed up the process of the story, and can even help in content outside of the story like deathmatches, maybe even stretching into demonic beast battles. So yeah, that's later on though, and you currently don't have to worry about that if you're starting a new account. When you start a new account, by the way, you also get one of the stupidest mechanics I've ever seen in the game. It's not even a mechanic, it's just a really good starter banner. You get a free multi every day for 2 weeks. Yep, for 2 weeks. And as much as it sounds kind of meh, there are like checkpoints in this banner. I'll put a photo up on the screen. You'll get these checkpoints, and in each of those checkpoints you can choose a character out of 2, and the characters that you should choose are Blue Escanor, Green Gotha, and Lolly Merlin. Not saying the other characters are bad or anything, but these characters will really help with your progression in 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross. Besides the 3 guaranteed characters that you get though, there are many other SSR characters that you can potentially pull on the banner, and good ones to really look out for include the Green Brunhild, which will be good for endgame content. Green Gamer Shin has 2 AoE attack cards, so he'll be really good for farming Gold Dungeon and anything that has many like enemies, so you can kind of just one-shot the waves. Red Derriere is good for death matches. New King Arthur is a really cracked passive which gives bonus defense and attack stats. Blue Easton is a buffer for PvP. Matrona is another endgame character. Miguelda is another endgame character you could also look for. And you can always find a niche use for the other SSR units you might pull anyways. So that's that. But that should be enough information to cover the main story chapters. As mentioned earlier, this is just a brief introduction to getting started or how to further start your Grand Cross account, but otherwise if you wish to see a continuation of this series, going more in depth of starting a free-to-play account or just a guide for newer players, stick around and I'll be sure to do more content around Grand Cross. If you wish to see other games, let me know in the comments too. Thanks for watching, guys.